by Greg Heffer, Political reported Football Association apologised to two England women's players over remarks by their ex-manager just minutes before top bosses faced accusations of blackmail-like behaviour over a race row. In a statement from FA Chief Executive Martin Glenn, it was revealed both Eniola Aluko and Drew Spence were subject to comments discriminatory on grounds of race by now-sacked manager Mark Sampson. The public apology came ahead of a bruising encounter for Mr. Glenn and his fellow members of the FA hierarchy in front of a committee of MPs. The FA's contrition towards Ms. Aluko and Ms. Spence followed a months-long scandal to engulf the women's national side. Mr. Sampson, who left his role last month, had been accused of telling Ms. Aluko to make sure her Nigerian relatives did not bring the Ebola virus to a friendly match against Germany at Wembley in November 2014. He denied that claim as well as another allegation that he asked Ms. Spence, of mixed race, if she had been arrested before, then jokingly suggesting she had been arrested 4 times. Image Mark Sampson was sacked by the FA in September. In the FA statement, the organisation revealed new evidence submitted to independent barrister Catherine Newton led her to conclude on 2 separate occasions Mark Sampson made ill-judged attempts at humour, which as a matter of law were discriminatory on grounds of race within the meaning of the Equality Act 2010, but Ms. Newton also concluded Mr. Sampson was not racist and there was no evidence to support claims Ms. Aluko had been subjected to a course of bullying and discriminatory conduct by the former England manager. Moments after the public apology was issued, Ms. Aluko, also appearing before the House of Commons Digital, Culture, Media and Sport Select Committee, told MPs that Mr. Glenn previously intimated to her she would only receive the second part of an agreed £80,000 settlement if she released a statement saying the FA was not institutionally racist. I felt that was bordering on blackmail. I categorically refused to write any statement, the Chelsea forward said. In his own appearance later, Mr. Glenn described how it was the FA's view a Twitter post sent by Ms. Aluko broke the terms of the agreement. Image FA Chief Executive Martin Glenn was grilled over an £80,000 settlement to the player. He did not confirm if the FA would now pay Ms. Aluko the money. Mr. Glenn also used his committee appearance to retract comments reported by The Guardian newspaper, in which he suggested Ms. Newton was employed to investigate the matter because of her sex and ethnicity. It was the end of a long day and it came out the wrong day, he said. FA Chairman Greg Clark agreed Ms. Aluko, who has won 102 England caps but has not been selected since May 2016, was a victim and the organisation had failed in its duty of care to the player. But he was condemned by members of the committee for appearing to describe institutional racism as fluff. It's really important in a governance role not to jump to conclusions, he told MPs. If they jump to a conclusions halfway through this process, there's no problem here. Nothing's been found. Whatever. You have to look at the end what is established. He added you have to look at the end what is established, putting aside all the fluff about institutional racism, institutional bullying, before he was cut off by furious MPs challenging his remarks. Image FA Chairman Greg Clark appeared to describe institutional racism as fluff. Mr. Clark was told. His language speaks volumes. Before he replied, what I was trying to say, maybe badly, is I could get distracted by the irrelevant. I shouldn't have said fluff. I could have come in and said, well, Catherine Newton said there's no evidence of bullying, of systemic racism. But that's not the issue. That's why I mischaracterized it as fluff. What I wanted to talk about was the material issue and I apologize for phrasing it badly. Mr. Clark described being FA chairman as career death and told MPs it's only because he loves football that he is risking his reputation by taking on the role. He also defended himself from Ms. Aluko's criticism of his 14-word email reply to the Professional Footballers Association (PFA) about her complaint. She had told MPs a male player with 102 caps, Wayne Rooney, if they were to send a complaint like that, would he respond like that? But Mr. Clark pointed out he was replying to the PFA and not Ms. Aluko, adding sometimes you have to be abrupt.